Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Can It Take a K26? The show where we take a variety of blasters and see if they can be upgraded using a K26 spring. I am your host, Captain Xavier, and today we're finally going to be taking a look at Hyper! Starting with the Nerf Hyper Rush 40. The Rush 40 was released in 2021 as part of the introduction of the new Hyper Ammo. Nerf decided that apparently Rival wasn't good enough and they decided to go with a smaller rubber round, which probably is easier to consistently manufacture. They are for the older audience, I believe. What is there an age limit on the box? 14 plus, it says on the box. These do hit over 100 FPS. It does actually say eyewear required in a sticker on the blaster. They're pretty neat. They're hopper fed. As far as I know, there is yet to be any Hyper magazines. You reload from there. They will hold 40 pop time. Fairly straightforward. Fascinating. So, let's take a look at those stock numbers and performance and see what we're trying to improve upon. To the chronograph. Right, the box claims up to 110 FPS, so let's see what we get. 113. 115. 110. 115. Hey, sir. 122. So they ain't lying. See how accurate it is, because that's kind of the point. To the range. Well, here on the range, we're going to see if we can hit anything at all with Hyper. I'm going to start with the 25. Can I hit the 25? Not with the first shot. There we go. Try the other one. No, getting some drop. There it is. And over here again. Alright, so it's not bad. It's not terrible. I'm gonna reload and try for the 50. Here we go. Got it on the bounce off the wall. Oh. It's just all over the place. It is windy, which probably isn't helping, but... So one on a bounce off the wall. I am not impressed. Let's see if we can improve it. Right, well, performance was not bad. It wasn't game-changing in my opinion, but not everything has to be. But we want to know, can this thing take a K26? Not K26. Let's do this thing. Right, we're in, and at first glance, it very much feels like a Chronos, actually. Other than that it feeds from a hopper rather than from an internal magazine down here. The back end, the way all of this works, the catch, the release, all of that is very, very reminiscent of a Chronos, which is encouraging. Oh yeah, I mean that looks like that almost looks like it would hot swap with a Chronos. It probably won't, but it sure is close. Let's take a look at this spring. That is indeed a beefy spring, and what concerns me is the diameter, because you could almost fit K26 in it, which means it... We can fit K26 over the plunger rod. It bunches up down here. We would potentially need to Dremel that down. The real question is K26 any stronger? Yes, K26 is definitely stronger. Now the question is how many coils do we want? And that's going to be based on how much compression space there is. And there's lots. This original spring probably had a fair amount of pre-compression, but also even when it's locked, there's a lot of additional room for compression. So, I wonder. Let's just try this section. Okay, well, that caught. I don't like that not having a squared end on the back side, so I am going to cut a new section. Okay. Well, that much will catch. So that's what we're going to start with. We'll see if the priming mechanism can handle it. It should. Let's give it a go. All right. Got it all back together. I just need to button it up. But first, a word from our sponsor.
Recommended.
I agree. Here we go. Yeah, right. It catches. It does feel angrier. Let's take it to the chronograph and see if there has been any improvement. Moment of truth. Let's see if our efforts have paid off. 138. 147. 149. Oh. 149. 138. Yup. A definite improvement. We got about a 20 to 30 FPS jump. Alright, let's see what it did to accuracy, because we know what increasing the power too much on Rival does to the accuracy. Let's see what it does to Hyper. Right, same plan as before. 5 at the close ones, 5 at the far ones. Start with the close ones. This needs a T-pull with that heavy of a prime. Oh! I don't know if it's any more accurate, but it sure got more zip. They're bouncing all over the place. I'm hitting stuff. That's something. Oh! Grazed that one. All right, 5 for 5. Not too bad. Let's try for that 50, though. And now for the 50. Oh, definitely not. Nearly so much. Oh, low. No. Nope, doing the same thing Rival does at the higher velocities. Getting squirrely. I've seen it with better barrel material though, and they can be very accurate, so I may have to talk to Jose Luchathor, see what he says. Back to the shop. Right, that was a definite yes. We got about a 30-foot FPS increase. Absolutely fabulous at about 25 feet. Super accurate, or super zippy anyway. It'd be very hard to dodge. But accuracy, I do feel, suffered a little bit, which is not surprising because we saw that with Rival, and these are very similar in shape to Rival rounds, are just smaller. So definitely want to try it with better barrel material. I have seen it with better barrel material and they work really well, so I would like to try that and see how that turns out. But yeah, all in all, I like it. I'm not going to rush out and buy a whole bunch of Hyper and swap out my loadouts because of it, but I enjoyed it. So there you have it. On to our next contestant after these messages.
All of the K26 used on this series was donated by Out of Darts. Check out his new website at outofdarts.com for all your Nerf modding needs.
Our next contestant is, of course, the Siege 50 that I acquired specifically for this video. Still in its box, ain't never been snuffed. So let's get it out and take a look at it. And there it is, the Siege 50. It was, of course, also released in 2021 as part of the Hyper line. It's pump action in the front, which I do like. Doesn't have a stock attachment point, which I don't like. I don't know why you wouldn't. It's just right there. Just do it. Anyway, hopper opens up there. Oddly enough, despite how much larger it is, it doesn't have a much higher capacity. It only holds 10 more rounds than the pistol does, but it does actually have a jam door. That's nice. Not the smoothest of primes, but I like the ergonomics. I like all of this. It also has that Holds extra ammo bin thing, which makes easy reloads. I dig that. All right, let's get the stock performance on this thing because I'm curious. To the chronograph. Right, we're gonna give this one 5 rounds and see what it can do. It is bigger. Maybe it will hit a little harder. Maybe it won't. 112. 112. 112. 118. 112. That is remarkably consistent. Neat. See how accurate it is. To the range. Back on the range. We got the bigger one. We're gonna do the same thing. 5 at the close targets, 5 at the 50. Let's see what happens. Well, that... Five for 5. Not bad. Reload. Try for that 50. Now for the 50. Close. Oh. I got nothing. See if we can make this one better. Right, well, stock performance is all well and good, but we want more. So let's see if this thing can take a K26. Yeah, right. Well, we are in, and it is also very chrono-esque, or perhaps more takedown-esque. But with having the geared prime right here, that's probably the one part I would be remotely worried about. But again, we have a very beefy stock spring. Not quite the same geometry as the Rush 40, but very similar weight. So those are pretty neat. Alright, let's bust out the K26. The catch and all of that is very similar, except it's got this little addition, which is our slam fire linkage, which is pretty nifty. It will fit, no great shock there. And yeah, we're gonna hack us off a hunk about the same size as the last one, and this time I'll remember to actually count the coils for you, because I know you're gonna ask. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 full coils. Let's see if it can catch that. Easily. No problem there. Actually, I'm gonna leave it latched to put it in. We put it in primed because otherwise it springs and that's bad. Okay. A lot of interlocking parts in here. There we go. Alright. We got the shell back together. Now we just need to button it up after a word from our sponsor.
Contribution.
What he said. Right, okay, it catches. Doesn't seem like that much heavier of a prime, doesn't seem that much angrier, but the numbers will tell the truth. So, to the chronograph. Ah. Right, let's give it a go. 148, 147, 148, 146, 143. Yep. That geared prime is making up for the difference in the weight. We're definitely seeing the same 30 FPS improvement. Let's take it to the range and see what it's done. You know the drill. 5 at the 25, 5 at the 50. We'll start with the 25. Oh yeah. Oh, that is delightful at 25. That is just mean. I like it. But let's see what happens when we try to reach out. Now for the 50. Almost hit the 75. I hit the 25. Nary so much. Fabulous at 25, but much past that, and not so good. Let's talk about it. Right, well that was another emphatic yes. We got about a 30 FPS increase, and accuracy at close range was incredible. I mean, it would be very hard to dodge this at 30 to 25 to 30 feet. So it would actually be quite good for HVZ if HVZs were gonna allow them. Most of the HVZs that or at least one at least so far that I'm going to, has explicitly banned hyper because of how hard it is to find the ammo. Those tiny green balls are going to disappear in the grass and in shrubs and all of that, and it's going to be more trouble to clean up than most other rounds. But if you're in like a CQB like my arena, this would be real good at close range. So that is pretty cool. I like that. Let's recap. Right, for those of you just tuning in or who just skipped to the end to see the results, you know who you are. That was a yes for the Rush 40, and that was another yes for the Siege 50. Not particularly surprising, as they are very, very similar internally to rival blasters. Both of them, the catch mechanism is very, very reminiscent of either the Chronos or the Takedown. Just different feed mechanisms. So it wasn't really surprising that they could take it. This one is a little bit hard to prime. I would love to see a T-grip. I'm sure there are ones out there already. I wouldn't be surprised if the Chronos ones actually can be modified to work for it. This one's fabulous that you barely notice the increase on the prime, and the internals are good and stout, so I'm not worried about them breaking. Accuracy isn't great, though. Past about 25 feet. 25 feet, they're great. After that, not so much. But I have seen ones that have had the barrels replaced, and that has made a huge improvement. So I may look into that. I'll reach out to Luchathor, because I know he built one, and I think out of darts, might even have a kit already. Haven't seen a whole lot for this one. Most people have been doing this one. I imagine the barrel length might be a problem on this one. Who knows? But I really like the form factor on this one, other than lack of a stock attachment point, which it wouldn't be terribly difficult to 3D print a stock attachment point that locked into that sling mount. I wonder if somebody may have done that already. I don't know. Haven't been following Hyper particularly close. But there you have it. Yeses all around. Very, very cool. Definitely plenty of potential. So stay tuned for eventually me possibly tinkering with them again in the future. Who knows? I do have the next 2 episodes lined up. I have some Ultra Blasters and I have some Fortnite Blasters, and after that, by then, I will probably hopefully have gotten my hands on the new Rival line, and I will look into that. But let me know what else you would like to see down in the comments. If there are any blasters that I have missed, or ones that you just particularly would love to see, let me know, and I will give them a try eventually, probably. And thank you for watching.